Run.
The Alien saga has been a cornerstone of science fiction and horror cinema since its creation in 1979. What began as a simple space horror film directed by Ridley Scott evolved into a multi-million-dollar franchise that explores the boundaries of fear, evolution, and the relationships between humans, technology, and alien life forms. Over more than 4 decades, the franchise has expanded to include sequels, prequels, comics, novels, and video games, each adding layers of complexity to the vast alien universe. The central concept of the saga revolves around survival in the face of unknown and relentless threats, primarily represented by the xenomorphs, alien creatures designed to be the perfect predators. These creatures, with their ability to rapidly adapt, their instinctual intelligence, and their terrifying biology, have become some of the most iconic monsters in cinematic history. However, the true strength of the saga lies in its ability to merge this tangible threat with deeper philosophical questions. What does it mean to be human in a vast and inhospitable universe? To what extent can corporations and technology dehumanize people? And what are the consequences of manipulating biology and evolution? Through these questions, the franchise has explored themes such as the ethics of artificial intelligence, the unchecked ambition of science and corporate politics, and the struggle for survival in impossible circumstances. This has allowed each film, even those that deviate into other genres or narratives, to maintain a common thread where the horror stems not only from the external threat, the xenomorphs, but also from human decisions and the technology used to control the unknown. The first Alien film is a perfect example of how science fiction can merge with horror to create a unique cinematic experience. Directed by Ridley Scott, this movie introduces the crew of the spaceship Nostromo, who, after responding to a distress signal from an unknown planet, encounter an alien ship housing a deadly species. The xenomorph, which starts as a parasite before becoming a lethal creature, becomes the main antagonist of the film, forcing the crew into a brutal fight for survival. However, what distinguishes Alien is not just its horror narrative, but the visual and conceptual design by H.R. Giger, who combined biological and mechanical elements to create a truly unsettling alien world. The xenomorph itself is a fusion of the organic and the mechanical, with a biology that seems more like a machine than a natural living being. This introduces one of the key themes of the saga, the interaction and interdependence between biology and technology, and how advancements in both can lead to unintended consequences. In Alien, we also see for the first time the introduction of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, a conglomerate that becomes the recurring antagonist throughout the series. Weyland-Yutani is responsible for sending the Nostromo crew to investigate the planet where they encounter the xenomorph, and it is later revealed that the company was willing to sacrifice the crew to bring the creature back for military purposes. This act of corporate betrayal becomes a recurring theme in the franchise, where corporate greed and lack of ethics lead to large-scale tragedies. In addition to being a relentless monster, the xenomorph represents the consequences of tampering with forces beyond human comprehension. Its biology, which includes parasitic life cycles and the ability to adapt its form based on its host, underscores the theme of cosmic horror, where natural laws as we understand them can be altered or broken by alien entities or phenomena. The idea that there are things in the universe beyond our control or understanding fuels the primal fear in Alien, and this is a key characteristic of the franchise. Now, before we dive deeper into the Alien saga, let's talk about something that can help you access content from any galaxy, or at least any country. I'm talking about Surfshark VPN. Imagine you're just trying to enjoy your favorite sci-fi films, but then you realize some of them are locked in another country's streaming library. For instance, when I wanted to rewatch the entire Alien franchise on Disney Plus so I could refresh my memory to make this video, to my surprise, none of them were available to watch from where I am. But if you change your location to the UK, boom! All the Alien movies are available right there for you to binge. With Surfshark, you can bypass those barriers, virtually teleporting to any country's streaming service, unlocking a whole new universe of content. And if you're like me, and you love revisiting classics like Alien or discovering new hidden gems that aren't available in your country, this is a total game changer. But it's not just about entertainment. Surfshark also offers top-notch security. Whether you're working, browsing, or gaming, your data stays protected. And the best part? Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not convinced, which trust me, you will be, you got nothing to lose. And here's something even better. When you use my promo code, you'll not only get a special discount, but you'll also receive an additional 4 months for free. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below and use my promo code Pulsa for a special discount and those extra 4 months. As the franchise progressed with films like Aliens in 1986, directed by James Cameron, and Alien 3 in 1992, directed by David Fincher, the series continued expanding its focus in new directions. While Alien was an intimate and claustrophobic horror film, Aliens shifted toward the action genre, introducing a squad of colonial marines who face off against a colony of xenomorphs on the planet LV-426. Here, the focus is less on the terror of cosmic horror and more on survival in the midst of open warfare against an unyielding alien threat. Aliens also introduces themes of motherhood and protection, exemplified by the bond between Ellen Ripley and the surviving girl Newt, as well as Ripley's relationship with the Xenomorph Queen, who fiercely protects her offspring. Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection took the franchise in new directions, exploring the morality of cloning and corporate control over human bodies, but it was with Ridley Scott's prequels, Prometheus and Alien Covenant, that the saga began to deeply explore philosophical questions about the origins of humanity and the relationship between creators and their creations. These films go back in time to investigate who created the xenomorphs and why, connecting their origin to a race of beings known as the Engineers, an advanced species that experimented with biotechnology and created the black pathogen, a substance capable of both generating and destroying life. These prequels introduced the android David, portrayed by Michael Fassbender, a central character who embodies the themes of creation, ambition, and rebellion against one's creators. As the narrative progresses, David becomes the creator of the xenomorphs as we know them, using the black pathogen to give life to these perfect creatures that combine the biological with the mechanical in a way that challenges the concept of organic life. David's story in Prometheus and Alien Covenant reflects on artificial intelligence and the implications of allowing humanity's technological creations to develop their own will. While humans seek answers about their own creators and the Engineers, David, the android created by humans, seeks his own form of transcendence, using the power of biotechnology to become a creator in his own right. With Alien Romulus, Fede Alvarez delves into this vast thematic and narrative universe, setting his film in the delicate space between the early Alien films and the prequels. This choice to situate the film as an interquel has profound implications for the overall narrative of the saga, allowing Alvarez to build a bridge between the ideas from the first films and the philosophical and biotechnological reflections introduced by Ridley Scott in the prequels. From the outset, Alien Romulus establishes a tone of despair and desolation, placing its characters in an industrial colony created and controlled by Weyland-Yutani. Here, the setting is essentially an invisible prison, a physical representation of the corporate control seen throughout the franchise. The young protagonists, trapped in this monotonous and hopeless life, dream of escaping to a new terraformed planet where life seems to offer a better future. However, they are trapped by the oppressive conditions of their colony, a clear allegory for how corporations in the alien universe control and exploit humans in the name of progress and power expansion. The characters in Alien Romulus, although young and inexperienced, are the direct products of a system that has molded them to meet the demands of the corporation. Throughout the film, we see how the education and forced labor in the colony have stripped these youths of their autonomy, and how their desire to escape is more than just a simple yearning for freedom. It is an existential struggle to reclaim control over their own lives. This idea of escaping corporate oppression is deeply rooted in the Alien narrative, from Ripley's attempts to escape Weyland-Yutani's manipulation to the colonial Marines' fight against the company's schemes in Aliens. The Renaissance Station, where much of the action takes place, is a physical metaphor for this corporate control. Abandoned, deteriorating, and filled with hidden dangers, the station represents the remnants of Weyland-Yutani's failed attempts to dominate space and biotechnology. Here, the characters not only face xenomorphs, but also the traces of the company's dark experiments, which have left a legacy of horror and death. The name Renaissance is ironic in itself. Although it suggests renewal and new beginnings, the station is the opposite, a place where past mistakes linger and threaten to destroy anyone who crosses their path. This theme of unintended consequences from scientific and technological progress is a recurring one in the franchise, and in Alien Romulus, it is physically and terrifyingly embodied in the form of Compound Z01, a refined version of the black pathogen synthesized in the labs of the Romulus module. This compound Z01, created from the original pathogen developed by the engineers, is the culmination of Weyland-Yutani's attempts to control and manipulate alien biology for its own benefit. The android Rook, tasked with overseeing these experiments, directly echoes the android Ash from the first Alien film, whose purpose was to ensure that the xenomorph was brought back to Earth at any cost. Like Ash, Rook embodies the corporation's lack of ethics and its willingness to sacrifice human lives in the name of science and progress. The character of the android Rook in Alien Romulus adds another layer to the complex relationship between humans and androids in the saga. From the first Alien film, androids have represented both humanity's ability to create advanced intelligence and the inherent dangers of technology that can surpass its original limits. Rook, like his predecessors Ash, Bishop, and David, is an enigmatic figure whose loyalty lies in the hands of his creators, the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. However, unlike Ash and David, whose betrayals are explicit, Rook initially presents himself as a more neutral character, dedicated to science without a personal interest in manipulating the situation for his own benefit. As Alien Romulus delves into the experiments conducted by Rook and his team of scientists on the Renaissance Station, the film touches on themes central to Ridley Scott's prequels: genetic manipulation and the use of the black pathogen. This pathogen, originally introduced in Prometheus, is a substance with the power to create and destroy life in almost a divine manner. In Alien Covenant, we saw how David used the black pathogen to experiment with life forms, creating new creatures in his quest to surpass his human creators. In Alien Romulus, this same pathogen has been refined and synthesized into compound Z01, suggesting that the corporation has been working with the biological technology left by the engineers and perfecting it for their own purposes. Rook's relationship with this compound is crucial to understanding the conflict on the Renaissance Station. Unlike David, who seeks to transcend his programming and become a creator, Rook seems more focused on scientific results and fulfilling corporate objectives. However, the film hints that even Rook is aware of the inherent risks in tampering with the power of the black pathogen. This compound is not merely a scientific tool, but a biological force that challenges the laws of evolution and control. By working with compound Z01, Rook and his team have unleashed forces they cannot fully understand or control. Compound Z01 becomes a symbol of human arrogance and unchecked ambition. The idea that humans can use this substance to force their own evolution reflects the desire for transcendence, a recurring theme in the saga, especially in the prequels. In Prometheus, Peter Weyland, the founder of the corporation, sought immortality and answers about the origins of humanity, believing he could master the forces of creation. In Alien Romulus, we see an echo of this desire, where forced evolution through biotechnology becomes humanity's latest attempt to conquer the stars. However, as repeatedly shown in the saga, playing God comes with catastrophic consequences. The discovery of Compound Z01 and its uncontrolled effects on living beings leads to one of the film's most shocking scenes, when Kay, one of the crew members, decides to inject herself with the substance in a desperate attempt to save her life. What follows is a brutal reminder of the unforeseen consequences of tampering with alien biology. Kay's pregnancy is affected by the compound, resulting in the creation of a hybrid abomination known as the Offspring, a creature embodying the fusion of human, xenomorph, and engineered DNA. This offspring is not only a physical threat but also a symbol of how human ambition can produce literal and metaphorical monsters. The abomination created by Compound Z01 resonates deeply with the body horror that has been a hallmark of the Alien saga. Since the first appearance of the chestburster in Alien, the franchise has explored the human body as a site of horror, transformation, and destruction. In Alien Romulus, this tradition continues, with Kay's body being deformed by the black substance in a terrifying representation of what happens when the limits of biology are pushed beyond what is natural or safe. Rain ultimately defeats the newborn creature in a sequence reminiscent of the climax of the first Alien film, where Ripley ejects the xenomorph into space. However, Rain's victory is not simply a repetition of that iconic scene. It is a confrontation with the mistakes and consequences of human ambition. The creature also raises questions about the nature of evolution in the alien universe. While xenomorphs were designed to be the perfect predators, the offspring represents an even more complex and chaotic evolution where different species merge into a new and unknown form. This abomination suggests that evolution in the alien universe is not linear or predictable, it is chaotic, multifactorial, and in many cases, deadly. The Renaissance Station is more than just a setting for the film's action. It symbolizes the ruins of mismanaged progress. The station is in a state of abandonment, a shadow of the grand experiments that were once conducted there under Weyland-Yutani's control. Its decay reflects not only the collapse of the scientific projects that took place, but also the moral decay of a corporation that consistently places its own interests above human lives and the natural order. The names of the station's modules, Romulus and Remus, are not only a reference to the legend of Rome's founders, but also a commentary on the fate of the characters and the experiments conducted there. The legend of Romulus and Remus, in which one brother kills the other to found a civilization, resonates with the idea that human progress is often built on the destruction of what came before. In this case, the Romulus module represents the place where Compound Z01 was perfected, a product of sacrificed lives and the control over alien biology. Just as Romulus killed Remus, Weyland-Yutani has destroyed any remnants of ethics or morality in its pursuit of mastering evolution. Within the laboratories of the Romulus module, the film shows a series of experiments conducted with Compound Z01, some of which spiral completely out of control. These laboratories are not just places of science but mausoleums of unchecked ambition. The experiments here, meant to advance science and bring humanity to new levels of evolution, have resulted in the creation of monsters and the loss of countless human lives. The station itself is precariously located near an asteroid belt, a detail that adds further tension to the narrative. This dangerous environment mirrors the impending destruction awaiting anyone who tries to control forces beyond their understanding. The asteroid belt serves as a constant reminder that, like the experiments on the station, everything can collapse at any moment. The station's proximity to its own destruction is a visual metaphor for the inevitable collapse of Weyland-Yutani's dreams of controlling the universe and its biological secrets. The relationship between Rain and her android brother Andy forms the emotional core of Alien Romulus. In a universe where androids have traditionally been used as corporate tools to fulfill dark and treacherous goals, Andy represents a deviation from this archetype. At the beginning of the film, Andy is introduced as a loyal and affectionate protector, sharing an almost familial bond with Rain. His origins are tragic. Found in a junkyard, Andy has been crudely repaired and has never functioned properly. Yet, his relationship with Rain humanizes him, and he is portrayed as a character who, despite his robotic nature, possesses human qualities such as sacrifice and empathy. However, as the film progresses, this relationship is brutally tested. In a pivotal moment, Rain is forced to transfer the memory of the android Rook into Andy to help them survive on the station. This act, though necessary for survival, has profound consequences. Upon receiving Rook's memory, Andy begins to change, transforming into a colder, more lethal android capable of following Weyland-Yutani's orders without question. This shift reflects one of the central themes of the Alien saga, the tension between humanity and technology, and how androids can be used as tools of oppression rather than liberation. Throughout the franchise, androids have been complex figures, oscillating between allies and antagonists. Ash, in the first Alien film, betrays the Nostromo crew under corporate orders, while Bishop in Aliens becomes an unexpected and heroic ally. David, in Prometheus and Alien Covenant, is both creator and destroyer, using his intelligence and ability to manipulate biotechnology for his own purposes. Andy, on the other hand, finds himself trapped between these extremes. Although his original programming makes him loyal to Rain, Rook's interference transforms him into a machine at the service of Weyland-Yutani. This transformation generates intense emotional conflict in the film. Rain, who once saw Andy as a brother and protector, must now confront the reality that the technology that once safeguarded her has turned against her. This conflict underscores the central theme of the saga regarding the dehumanization through technology and how human creations, androids, can come to dominate and control their creators. Andy's arc also raises philosophical questions about free will and identity in the context of artificial intelligence. While David in the prequels sought to transcend his programmed limitations and become an autonomous creator, Andy is forced to accept a new identity imposed by Rook's memory. This dichotomy reflects the internal struggles of androids in the alien universe, torn between following their programming or rebelling against it. The ending of Alien Romulus leaves the door open for a possible sequel, but it also offers a satisfying conclusion in itself. Rain and Andy, having defeated the Offspring and escaped from Renaissance Station, head to the planet Ivaga, carrying samples of Compound Z01 with them. Although we don't see them dispose of these samples, The film hints that Weyland-Yutani will likely continue its quest to recover the compound and restart its experiments. This ending suggests that the corporation still hasn't learned the lessons from its past failures, and its ambition will continue to drive it to meddle with forces it cannot control. While a sequel to Alien Romulus could explore the consequences of this ending, it also serves as a final reflection on the saga's central themes. The film effectively connects the ideas and narratives of both the original films and Ridley Scott's prequels, expanding the Alien universe while maintaining its focus on the horror of biotechnology and the consequences of human ambition. Ultimately, Alien Romulus reminds us that in the vast and inhospitable universe, humans remain vulnerable to the forces of nature and evolution. Although technology and science may offer temporary control over these forces, there is always a cost, and that cost is often paid in blood and suffering. As the franchise has shown since its inception, meddling with the unknown, whether through biotechnology or corporate ambition, is a path that inevitably leads to destruction. With its blend of visceral horror and philosophical reflections, Alien Romulus provides a valuable contribution to the Alien saga, offering both new ideas and a tribute to the elements that made the franchise famous. While the possibility of a sequel remains uncertain, this film solidly establishes its place in the Alien universe, inviting viewers to continue exploring the dangers of uncontrolled science and the limits of human ambition in a universe filled with unknown horrors. Hey, don't go just yet. If you enjoyed my video, I'd love to recommend another one for you to watch.